My bad.
Wheresoever you go throughout the world, the black man is discarded, is ostracized, is relegated to the lowest in things. Social, political, and economic forces are just a problem and one that must be solved. We in this section of the world are not entirely free from this unkind, unsympathetic, and uncharitable behavior of the groups or races around us. But since man has responsibility, whether he be black, white, or on his own account, we will not unduly whine or complain, but reason among ourselves and see what can be done to remedy this state of affairs. Life is a conflict. You have to fight your way through it, whether you will it or not. Those of us who are able to live accomplish most, and to them go the laurels, the palms, and triumph of our world. We unfortunately have not been trained nor educated paradoxically so. May I say something to you to give you a true life so that the same glory and success attained by others is a
No.
superb and creature of
It's
creation.
breaking up. It's breaking up. It's breaking up.
Becomes master of his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own ends. Man should understand himself because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of given the faculty of understanding all things around him. This faculty for understanding has not been, none of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the knowledge that man is used to beautify the world and produce all that he needs for his happiness and civilization. Look the world over and whatever you use, everything to man's comfort, to his needs and to his satisfaction. It is but man.
Right, right. So I got the Hootie. Come on in to Hootie.
That was breaking up there a little bit.
That was breaking up. Well, I mean, we had got what we got, so I couldn't do nothing about the breaking up part. That was probably something with the internet part, the internet service part. So we're gonna have some of these other brothers maybe breaking up too. So
Okay,
let's just go
well,
on with.
just maybe you give an introduction to that video where they can find it on YouTube and they can hear the whole entire thing. Because I'm going to tell you, when you listen to Marcus Garvey, you better be listening. Because this brother don't use periods in his speech. Okay? He talks straight through his sentences and he mean what he say. And you better be listening to what he talking about. Because he be talking straight through. He don't even take a breath. This one of the greatest lecturers, speakers, and knowledge and truth and black nationalism I have ever heard speak. And you better be listening because he's not waiting for you. He's saying what he got to say.
Yes, that brother is definitely saying what he have to say, and he take off with it. I mean, he do pause because you see when he pause, but he rapidly with it. He definitely take off on what he have to say. But
Barely take a breath.
yeah, he better take a breath because he got that enthusiasm in him. He got that enthusiasm, that force that he already know what he want to say. Like when Martin Luther King was talking, he had that enthusiasm in him, so he already know what he gonna say because it's just flowing from that energy within, from the soul. You know what I'm saying? So these type of brothers that talk like that, they talking from their soul, man. They're coming from the soul. They don't need to read off a piece of paper
Mm-hmm.
to know what they talking about. They talking about something that need to be done in justice. You know what I'm saying? That's what they talking about. They talking about what's
Right,
going on, what they see what's going on, and what need to be corrected of what's going on. That's what they talking about.
right. And it don't necessarily have to coincide with the English language the way that they say it.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
absolutely right.
no,
And basically,
they
and
run,
basically,
they running it down the way they feeling it. You know,
yeah,
very
yeah,
exuberant,
yeah.
very highly exuberant, and uh, of course, Dr. Ben is special for me, but I have to keep referring back to him because he said something very, very true one day. He said, if a black person is talking about their history and they not vibrant about it, they dead. Something wrong with them because the recent history of our people is a Holocaust, is extraordinary. Nothing this earth has seen before, and you should be vibrant. You should have some heavy expression about even talking about our recent past history.
That's right. That's
and
right.
I agree with him 100% on that.
Yeah, but you know,
if your grandma and your grandpa and your family being raped, murdered, you run off your land, and you don't have no passion or feeling about that, we're talking about it, you are dead. You're not feeling it. This will rise up in anyone, the human, if you're talking about such a tragic incident.
Right. So I can understand all of that. You know, I can understand all that. Because that's, you know.
Well, that's why Garvey spoke the way he did. Because he's speaking to revitalize the energy in the people to drag themselves up out the mud of slavery and grab themselves by the bootstrap and be their own man and woman on this planet and not depend on the one who threw us in the mud. Right. He's talking about black nationalism, independence. We do not ask them or want anything from them. We do for ourselves. So every black man, woman, and child have to get up and participate in a black nation and not depend on no one, especially our persons, to do anything for us. And we have done that before. Segregation caused by our oppressor forced us to do that. They forced us to do that. We did it better than we ever knew we can do it. And we did it way better than they even thought we can do it. This is why in the late 1919s and the early 1920s, they came and burnt our towns. And they shut down the Black Wall Streets that we had all across the country. They had Black Wall Street in New York. We had Black Wall Street everywhere across the country. North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, Detroit, Michigan, the Paradise Alley, Paradise Valley. We had the New York, the Bronx, California, Baltimore. We had Black Wall Streets all over the country. And they see that we outdo them and they murder us and shut everything down.
Right. Right. I agree with you. Because everything we set up, it always get burnt down. It always get burnt down or blew up by some bombs or something because they see us on the rise. That's what that'd be about.
Well, because they enslave us and they tell the people they knew we were kings and queens that had empires and kingdoms and nations and all these things when they came upon us. They knew these things. So because they conquer us and enslave us, they're not going to say any of that. They're going to tell you you're just a wild cannibal savage out the jungle. And the black people don't want to be African because the subliminal messaging in all their TV and education and everything tell the black people that you just a bunch of savages swinging from the vine like a monkey in Africa. So we didn't know no better because we don't see nothing else. Who wants to be part of that? So the black people do not want to be who they are. But this is not the truth. The truth is we brought civilization to the world. We have kings, queens, nations, empires, very rich, you know, and this is the truth, okay, for us. So we have to rediscover. We have to discover the truth of our heritage and the people that we are.
Right. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that. So that's why, that's why I always allowed you, and have enjoyment of talking to you, my brother, when we do these shows together, because I see that you are very enthused, brother, and that you really want to, see progress within our communities and with our people to do like the brother Marcus Garvey is talking about, and the brother Malcolm X and the rest of the leaders like Noble Drew Ali, which was a great leader as well, because even though a lot of them brothers weren't on the same path and they had different like philosophies, but they was on the same track as of like keeping us together, trying to bring us together and trying to give us something, some hope of some history of trying to know who we are. And that was the best
Yes,
thing about it.
very much
That was
so.
the best thing about it, So with that said, brother,
Well, this yes, go ahead, please.
no, I was finna say with that, oh, you got something to say? Go ahead. Go ahead. If you got something to say, go ahead.
What I was going to bring to the attention at this time is that uh, this condition of our people after the brutality of slavery has robbed us of our culture. And a people's culture is everything. It's who they are. It's their names. It's the clothes they wear. It's the food they eat. It's their social structure. It's their laws. It's their philosophy. It's your culture is involved in all these things. And what slavery has done to the black population on the planet has robbed us of all these things. It's taken them away. Not only did the enslavers not allow us to practice our cultures anymore, they serve us up a new culture, their own, which is racist and totally against us. Then they will not tell us who we are. The enslaver will not tell the slave who they are and what they come from. And this creates a great problem for us as black people because we lose the pride in ourselves and we become comfortable with being enslaved by these other people because they have told us that we're nothing, we're not even human, we're like an animal. And we have pretty much accepted that. We have pretty much accepted that because we stay in their control and as opposed to fighting to the death to be the proud black people that we are. Because
Right.
if you read their history books, we just laid down and didn't put up any resistance to slavery. But that is not the truth. No, this is not the truth. We fought them to we cannot fight no more here in America, pretty much. This new way of trickery that they pull to integrate us with them, for we will not fight them anymore. Okay, this have saved the day for them, but it has made nothing better for us. It made worse for us because it's continued slavery.
Right. So so you're right about that. And with that, we need to tighten up as a people and get ourselves right. And with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and let this brother right here come in and say what he got to say. So sit back a little 2 minutes and get your recollection together. We're gonna let these brothers speak. See what the brother Malcolm has to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
The house Negro, they lived in the house. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food. They lived in the attic, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to slaves quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro said, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said, that's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. Sick. The house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick. Master, all of his master identified with himself.
I'm on break.
And the king said, let's run away. Let's separate. The house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What do you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this? That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today because we still got some house niggers running around here.
All right now.
Yeah. That brother, yeah, he was on point on what he said. Definitely on point.
Always on point.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he put the point in us.
Yeah, he put the point in us, most definitely. Most definitely. So,
and this is what we are seeing today. If you make over $50,000, you don't recognize slavery or oppression. If you make under $20,000 a year, you feeling oppression. You know, it's simple as that. There are going to be the people that say we got it better than we ever had. Well, that's only 10% of the 75 to 100,000, 100 million black people in America. You only got maybe 10% making over a poverty level of $225,000 a year. The rest, 90%, are making under $25,000 a year. And this is where we feel the oppression. Because to live in America with under $25,000 a year, you can barely pay your rent and eat and feed your family. So he's perfectly correct at that time, 50 years ago, and still 50 years later, we're in the same boat. Matter of fact, we're not even as good as we were 50 years ago. Because even though we might have more cars, we might have more TVs, we have a higher mortgage on the bigger house, we have a higher rent on the nicer apartment, we don't own anything. 50 years ago, we owned things. We own houses, we own apartment complexes, we own businesses in our own communities. We had communities. It was not the Arab on the corner selling you some meat as brown as the bottom of your, you know, I don't want to go too far, but the meat is as brown as you. Okay, you buying from the Arab store or the Indian store up on the corner, or they got you going to the gas station to go grocery shopping because there's no grocery store in your community, because we don't own anything in America anymore. The foreigners come in and they run the economy in our communities. So Malcolm X tried to tell us if we do not unite, if black nationalism is not our way of life, what we are going to succumb to. He told us 50 years ago, and he was 100% correct. Because now we have not hold to Marcus Garvey teaching of black nationalism. We have not hold to these great leaders who tell us black nationalism is our savior, and there will be no other for us. And we have not held to those things, and we are suffering right now today. We own nothing in America, very little.
Yeah,
Nowhere
because
near much as we owned 50 years ago, not even close to what we owned 100 years ago.
yeah, because at one time blacks did have stores that we own, but we sold out the same stores that we go to and buy in the hood. Blacks once owned them stores that Arab own right now. We own
Oh
them
yeah,
same stores,
gas station,
gas station and everything.
grocery
Yeah,
store. They won't even open a grocery store. We had grocery store. They won't even open a grocery store in our community for us, because this is how little they think of us. So at this point in time, not to put any blame for them, because if you're not going to protect your own and have your own, anybody do have the right to come in and take control of you. So if we don't step up as black people here in America and have our own and make for our own, I would not be mad at the foreigners who come in and take advantage of that. I will be more angry at ourselves for not stepping up and doing the things that we must do to be a sovereign, self-contained here in this country, and not depend on someone else to sell us a steak or whatever you want at the corner store.
yeah. But see, you know what happened? Uh, you had these blacks that had these stores, and they stores doing good, but you had the Arabs that came and offered them more money than they thought they would make in the long run. So they hurry up and took these millions, or maybe a million, that the Arab offered them for this store, and the Arab multiple times that what he gave them for that store in a black neighborhood, because living in a black neighborhood, people go to the store. You live right around the street from the corner, from the corner store. You going to the store. Majority of every day you going to the store. Your kids going to the store. Everybody, where these people lives, the thinking of our community. So they say if we go in their community and they don't have to go way in the white community to buy, like Winn-Dixie and Publix, they can come right here to us and buy all of their sweetness, their chips and hot dogs, and you know what I'm saying, and all of this little stuff. Chicken, they even got chicken in stores now, and
Right.
they got the black people in there cooking the chicken.
Yeah, but they own the
Cooking
store.
the food.
They own the stores that we used to own. And see, this was not by
Yeah,
accident. This was by design. This is what you call civil engineering. Okay, you engineer. You put the apparatuses in the create the situations in a community that you are in control of, and we are not in control of our own communities. They are in control. So we actually don't have communities because they are in control. To have a community, you must be in control of your own people, your own environment, and we don't have that. Even where we do have that, places like Detroit, Chicago, you got the black mayors in DC and California. You got black mayors and you got black city council and all these things. But still yet, the economy is ran by foreigners. And this is done by design. Okay? And this is where the Federal Bank of the United States of America comes in. Okay? Because this title, Federal Bank of America, is very misleading. You say Federal Bank of America, you're thinking this is the United States government printing the money and dishing out the money. But this is not the case. The Federal Bank of America is ran by Jews, by the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Okay, it's private owned. Private owned people are printing the money, not the government printing money. Okay, and they are running the loans. So they will give the loans to the foreigners coming in, for they can run the economy in our communities, and we cannot get the loan to open stores.
So
And
they monopolizing the system. That's what's going on.
well, that's just the way it is right now. It's not always been that way, but that's the way it is right now. And I doubt if it will continue to be that way much longer. I really do.
No, it's not gonna stay that way.
No, but when I grew up, it was not that way. I grew up in segregation, and it was not that way. We had everything of our own. We had everything of our own. We could not even go in the white people's stores, in gas station and restaurant. When I grew up, we had our own. The black people had. We had our own places to go and spend our money. Integration was one of the greatest tricks the poor here in America. You know, integration was a way of taking economic empowerment from the black people, and for we will spend our $1.2 trillion a year with the people who run our communities, and we will not receive any of that for ourselves. Okay, so this is all done by design. Again, civil engineering is what these people are practicing on us. The biological, chemical warfare, the biochemical warfare that they have put into our communities with the drugs, the alcohol, all these things. This is all done by design.
Yes.
Yeah. All these things. The vaccinations for the children. They make the law for the children. Nowhere in the world. Again, I say nowhere in the world do anyone send their children to their oppressors' schools to be educated. We're the only people in the world here in America that does that. Well, not really, because the black people over in Africa and everywhere else, they're doing that also nowadays. Because colonialism still exists. They talk about the being colonized as if though it's something of the past. No, it continues today. It continues today. By law, we must take our children to their schools to be educated. Nobody on the planet take their children to their oppressive school to be educated. The Jew is not going to send his child to Islamic Muslim school, and the Muslim is not going to send their child to a Jewish school. And this is across the board, all around the world. But yet we send our children whatever continent that we are on, and we are on every continent. The black people is on every continent, all 7 continents. We send our children to their schools because they make law that we have to send our children to their schools. Okay, and this is a part of the system of racism. And racism is a global system. Okay, it affects every continent, every person on the planet. Because this is the people who are running things. This is the system they run. You know, so we are victims of it. But you don't have to, just because we are victims of what they are imposing on us, this doesn't say we have to fall down and become, we have been victimized, but this doesn't say that we have to fall down and we cannot save ourselves. Everyone, every religion holler for a savior. Well, this thing for us is we have to be our own savior at this point. Even if you're hollering for a savior and waiting for a savior to come, until the savior get here, you're going to have to get up and do something for yourself.
Right. Let's take a 2-minute break on that, brother. You right about that. We're gonna have to save ourselves. Let's take a 2-minute break and see what the master teacher Dr. Ben has to say on some of the stuff we were saying.
Oh, very good. I'm anxious. Please run it.
I would like to thank you for that resounding to the young and young men who for my coming here after quite a while to address you. When people speak of
We got a malfunction going on.
religion, but before I go into that, let me equally pay tribute to Marcus Garvey. Brother Garvey, although doing bringing to our people the African and to ask as many as would go, I will return back home, kept in mind the need for spirituality. However, he was unable to deal with it in terms of an African space. How people accept in its entirety. When you think of the name of the organization, it will tell you the struggle of men in Jamaica and the Caribbean. He started an organization by the name of African Communities League. In the United States, we were not ready for the word African, though we were allegedly ready to go home. Accept ourselves being Negro, but the continent being Africa. Mr. Garvey made a compromise because it was more important to have the organization than equivocate over the name. Of course, up to shortly before his death in London, when I visited him, like many of us, I did a lecture at the house. And a youngster, I think I was the youngest in that house that day. There were men like Krumah, Zigwe, Awolo, names like that, and most of whom are now dead. When he stated that that was one of the drawbacks he had, the fact that he could not have his organization name in its front.
All right, you heard what that brother was saying? He was saying that the brother couldn't have his organization named in the proper way. In the proper way. Even though we had some
Okay.
We're back.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, hopefully it come out better than I heard it, but you know, he's a powerful speaker. and everything he say is what we need to hear.
How did you hear it? I mean, because I know it was messing up. It was doing a lot of buffing. I know that. So
yeah, it was not clear. I don't know how it's going to come out. I don't know. Maybe you can insert her on and get a better copy.
yeah. So let me see how this one will sound. If not, we can do this whole show over. I can just take it off and we can just do the whole thing over and do it all over right. So let me see how this one will sound with this. You kind of coming in and out too. So let me see how this sound right here with this brother.
Okay.
The one we had.
Concerning shrines, not accepted. In actuality, the shrines do accept the truth, because there would be no shrines if there was no hawks. Remember, they got all of their doctrine. They try to get the impression that the shrine was founded in Saudi Arabia, when in actuality, the shrine, which was a Moorish mosque built in Spain by us. And they got their doctrine from a war named Moya. If you see the picture of you see from the side of Saint Germain, you see on the other side of her, Kutumi, and behind her is a man in a white timber, and a jug of beer. And he's the one who gave them some of the secrets. They only have 3 of the 9 degrees. The 3 degrees they hold are tribute. They don't have nothing in the universe. They will tell you that they hold the science of the universe. They don't hold the science. Anything like that, still they. Because they do acknowledge. And they will read for it. They'll know you got it. But they don't have any information.
No, babe.
It's more real.
You're not over here? She's not over here?
Or something.
Come on.
Play. All it was, but and they reenacted play in the law. So they do not have any we just give them anything.
Or go in the house.
Come on.
Because we will be in there together.
Back out in the dirt again. Get back this morning.
Make sure doors were locked. Make sure stores were not being down. They were not there arrested. Police didn't know by right at the rest of them. But they put together a special called the Guardian. And these Guardians went about kidnapping us more and getting us in with the African slaves who was brought over here. They followed for profit. And that is their so-called new task force, where they call the Red Dogs of these new paramilitary movements that you find all over America springing up, who are doing perpetrating all around. Police don't have any power whatsoever, but police and environment, not to. So because of that, we will be being harassed by the Guardians. So we had to take certain documents and put them in the trust of certain people. Thus, George Washington was definitely not the first president, as you know, was inducted into the 20 degrees of our laws. That's all, of the 9. Yes. When the planetary alignment comes in, what are the main things that happen and how long will it last? A day? Here was referred to as meridian belt. Meridian belt is an is going to take place. But remember, the plan is now on this act. It's going to 22 feet action. So Africa is not where, and neither is America. It's not where it's supposed to be. Everything has been shifted off. So when the alignment comes in, the alignment is going to be off. That's why it's important.
Brother was saying. Tootie. Tootie, you know?
Yeah, and that was better. That was much better.
All right. I wanna I don't know if you wanna do this video over so we can get everything everything right, because I want all these brothers to be right. And plus I feel like I didn't, you know, come off how I wanted to come off, because at the same time I was doing other stuff while you was talking, and it wasn't that same enthusiasm that I put in the first one, because I'm trying to talk to you and I'm trying to work the videos, and I'm trying to, you know, all these brothers, you know, talking to me, asking me questions and challenging me on Facebook right now. And I'm trying to do all of that, and I don't want to seem like, you know, I'm not coming back at them because I'm not responding. So, because I know what they're saying, so I'm responding right back, and that's knocking my attention off a little piece with what I'm supposed to be doing with this. But I had started doing both of these almost at the same time before we had got started, like actually into the whole input of what we're doing with this show. But we can continue. It don't matter. I'll set them to the
Okay.
side. So let's continue our show and get on what we need to talk about and how we're gonna come together and the solution. Let's get to the solution part, because we always hear enough about black people need to do this and black people that, and black people ain't doing this, and the white people did this and that and that. I mean, a lot of people tired of hearing that. You know what I'm saying? They want to see solutions or they want to hear solutions. So let's hear some solutions of what we're doing or what we can do to make it better.
Right.
Like how can we, you know, donate $1, you know, $5 a week, or you know, $5, $10 every month or whatever, and start open up something so we can start opening up a little bank for ourselves, or starting to, you know, try to do a little business thing together or something. Let's start making some progress, solutions about what we're
Right.
trying to do.
Yeah. It's more to it than just talking about it. Yeah, you need to talk about the thing. With the problem.
You're breaking up bad, real bad.
After the
You're breaking up bad, bro. I can't even hear you right now. Now I can't even hear you at all.
Y'all want one of them stay on thing? But I'm doing my show ball.
All right. You there? You there, bro? Tootie. Yeah, see, I don't lost the brother Tootie again, man. We're gonna have to do this show over again.